Welcome to Aptitude for Placements, and my name is Ranjit. I have conducted this aptitude training program at various engineering colleges all over India, and every year thousands of students get placed by attending this aptitude training program. Here you will find all the questions that are commonly encountered in most of the aptitude tests. These are the questions that keep on repeating in many of these tests. So just familiarize yourself with all these questions and you will have a clear advantage when you attempt your actual placement test. Let's start. The average age of a husband and wife was 30 years when they were married. So we'll form the equation for that. Now we will assume that the age of the husband when he was married is H and the age of the wife when she was married is W. And their average was 30 years. So their sum by two numbers are there and that average is equal to 30. So from this equation you will get H plus W is equal to 2 into 30, 60. So this is the first equation that we get. Some years later a child was born. So we will assume that X years later a child was born. And they found out that the average age of the husband, wife and the newborn child is 22 years. So after X years a child was born. So when the child was born, husband's age will be H plus X and the wife will be W plus X and the child's age will be 0 because it is a newborn child. The child is just born and its age will be 0. So their total sum divided by 3 numbers are there. So number of numbers is 3 and this average is now 22. So we'll just solve this equation. Here you have H plus W plus x, that is 2x. 0 we need not write it down, is equal to 3 into 22, that you will get it as 66. Now H plus W is 60. So 60 plus 2x is equal to 66 or 2x is equal to 66 minus 60 is 6 or x is equal to 6 by 3, you will get it as 3. So we have assumed that after x years the child was born and x is equal to 3. So how many years after their marriage was the child born? After X years and X is equal to 3. So option D, 3. The average age of a husband and wife was 25 years when they were married. So we will assume that the age of the husband when he was married is H and age of the wife when she was married is W. Their total sum by two numbers are there and this average is now 25. So from this you will get H plus W is equal to 2 into 25 is 50. So this is the first equation that you get. Some years later a child was born. So we will assume that X years later a child was born. And they found out that the average age of the husband, wife and the newborn child is 20 years. So X years later a child was born. So when their child was born, husband's age will now be H plus X and wife's age will also be W plus X because after X years a child was born. So both of them are now X years older and the child's age will be 0 because it is a newborn child and its age will be 0. So their total sum by number of numbers is 3 and this average is now 20. So we'll just solve this equation. So here you have H plus W plus X is 2x. That is equal to 3 times 20 is 60. Now from the previous equation we know H plus W is equal to 50. So H plus W is 50 plus 2x is equal to 60 or 2x is equal to 60 minus 50 is 10 or x is equal to 5. So we have assumed that the child was born after X years and X is equal to 5. Question is, how many years after their marriage was the child born? The child was born after X years and X is equal to 5. So 5 years, option D. A set consists of n positive integers and their average is 20. So n numbers are there and their average is 20. So their total sum can be represented as n numbers into their average 20. So n into 20 is their total sum. If one of the numbers 80 is removed, so the original total sum was n into 20, n numbers into their average 20. Now one number 80 is removed. So if 80 is removed, now the total sum will be n into 20 minus 80 because this number 80 has been removed. Now if one number 80 is removed, the average drops to 18. So this is the total sum after removing 18, and this total sum can now be represented as n minus 1 into 18. Originally there were n numbers. Now one number 80 has been removed. So one number less. So now there are only n minus 1 numbers and their average is 18. So after removing the number 80, now their total sum is n minus 1 numbers into their average 18. Now what is the value of n? So we'll just solve this and calculate the value of n. So 20n minus 80 is equal to 18n minus 18. So I'll just bring to this side. So you'll get 2n is equal to 80 minus 18. So 80 minus 18 is 62. 62 by this 2. You'll get it as 31. So value of n is 31. So option D, 31. A set consists of n positive integers and their average is 10. So first of all, we'll find out their total sum. So n positive numbers are there and their average is 10. So n numbers into their average 10. This is their total sum. Now if one number 30 is removed, so originally the total sum of all the numbers is n numbers into their average 10. Now if one number 30 is removed, now the total sum will be 30 less. From the total sum, the number 30 has been removed. Then the average drops to 8. So after removing 30, this total sum can now be represented as n minus 1 into 8. That is, originally there were n numbers. Now one number 30 has been removed. So now there are only n minus 1 numbers and their average is now 8. So this total sum can now be represented as n minus 1 numbers into their average 8. What is the value of n? So we'll just solve this equation and calculate the value of n. So 10n minus 30 is equal to 8n minus 8. I'll just bring 8n to this side. So you'll get 2n is equal to 30 minus 8 is 22. So n is equal to 22 by 2 gives you 11. So what is the value of n? N is equal to 11. So option D, 11. A set consists of n positive integers and their average is 40. So first of all, we'll find out their total sum. Now n positive integers are there and their average is 40. So n numbers into their average 40. This is the total sum. If one number 60 is removed, so if the number 60 is removed, then the total sum will reduce by 60. So after removing 60, this will be the total sum. N numbers into their average 40, and from this total sum we have removed the number 60. And then the average drops to 35. So this total sum can now be represented as n minus 1 into their average 35. That is, originally there were n numbers. One number 60 has been removed. Now one number less. So now there are only n minus 1 numbers. Originally there were n numbers. Now one number less. Now there are only n minus 1 numbers into their average 35. So this is the total sum after removing 60. Now the question is, what is the value of n? So we'll just solve this equation and calculate the value of n. So 40n minus 60 is equal to 35n minus 35. I'll just bring 35 to this side. So you'll get 5n is equal to 60 minus 35. So 5n is equal to 25 or n is equal to 5. Now the question is, what is the value of n? N is equal to 5. So option C, 5. Let me briefly explain how to prepare for your aptitude test. First of all, you need to familiarize yourself with all the questions that have been worked out here. These are the questions that keep on repeating in many of the aptitude tests. After that, you need to attempt practice tests. According to me, you need to attempt at least 10 practice tests before your actual placement test. Here, I will be giving you 10 practice tests, and these practice tests will be ideal for you to improve your test scores. The 10 practice tests are available at a cost of only Rs 200. So all that you need to do is make a payment of Rs 200 either through Google Pay or through PhonePe or through Paytm, and you will receive the 10 practice tests. The details of the payment comes next.